It is about goddamn time that the Hollywood Foreign Press Association has decided to add a new category to the Golden Globes. What are they adding, Mac? Best
Oh,
podcast.
I was going to answer it that you were asking me,
I'm
You
never.
asked it
It's always,
rhetorically.
yeah, it's always shut up. I'm speaking.
Um,
That's what makes a good podcast.
this sort of makes sense because podcasts have become so relevant,
Mhm.
honestly, at least socially. There are a lot of celebrities that have podcasts, a lot of celebrities that are, in the movie and television industry that have podcasts. Um, I guess that's fine. They give out awards for fucking everything. Why not give out awards for podcasts at the Globes?
Now, in the 2 days since this announcement, I have been checking my mail frantically, almost every 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and I haven't gotten anything from them.
Well, I mean, the Globes aren't until what, next January? So you shouldn't expect anything till maybe November.
So you're saying every day for the next 5, 6 months, keep on checking?
Yeah. Keep on deleting those fucking 4,000 messages you have.
Well, you gotta think, with so few podcasts out there, we
Mhm.
stand a chance, right?
We have a strong chance for sure.
Especially when it isn't, it's not making you choose a category. We've already discussed this. We are without a country when it comes to like, what is this show about?
Yeah, we're the spork of podcasts.
One goo, three, yeah! Goo. Jaws 3. Goo. King of Queens. Goo. Meryl Streep. Entertainment.
I'm Goo.
And I am Mac.
And we are the Mac and Goo program. We bring you so much friendship.
So much friendship. And today we're doing our famous we don't know what we're doing, so let's do an episode of Mount Rushmore's
From
episode.
sea to shining sea.
If you've not heard what a Mount Rushmore is, do yourself a favor, pause
Oh,
this
we created
episode.
it. We created
Google
what a
that.
Mount Rushmore
Yeah,
is.
you'll see we started that whole thing. And essentially what we do here is we throw a category up. Goo throws a Mount Rushmore of said category, and I kind of critique, maybe edit, add. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But also, what is a Mount Rushmore, Mac?
It's sometimes misconstrued as 5 faces on a hill, but
If you
it's
ask
actually
AI,
4.
sometimes it's 5.
Yeah, sometimes it's 5, but it's actually 4.
So it's 4 faces.
It's like sometimes, on The Voice, they have a tandem coaching voting duo or whatever, and there's really 5 judges, but it's really just 4,
So what you're saying is that we can couple things together and count that as 1?
Like Beavis and Butthead, if they were to go on the Mount Rushmore, they'd go on as 1.
Like Mac and Goo.
Exactly.
Although I would like for us to be thought of as separate people. / let's get this out there right now. If you're listening on the show, if you're tardy to the party, if you're new to the show, the voice that you are hearing right now, Goo.
And I'm Mac.
In case you weren't listening 2 minutes ago when we introduced ourselves.
Yeah. And we often, I would say 50% of our statements start with the other person's name before we say it, so who is talking to one another.
Right, because Goo needs to prep this for the radio every week. And what's good about it is that you and I do a good job of letting the audience know who the other person is.
Mhm.
But we never reset the topic. That's because in a podcast, you don't have to. It's in the title of what you're choosing.
Correct.
On the radio, you are supposed to reset the topic. So what I have to do every 5-10 minutes is add a little piece of edit in there being like, we're talking about Thunderbolts.
I'm gonna try to keep that in mind here while we're going forward. Just
No.
constantly cutting in.
Only the podcast. For those of you just tuning in right now, we're talking about the MCU's newest entry, the Thunderbolts. All right, Mac, before we get into our Mount Rushmore, something dawned on me, Donatello'd, if you will, on the way into work. And it's kind of a Mount Rushmore because there is 4, and I want you to answer me. If I were to lay out on a table right now, say if I unroll a blanket and you see the pairs of weapons used by the Ninja Turtles. So
Yeah.
we have sais, katanas, nunchucks, bow staff. In what order, rank them, which ones you could master the quickest?
I think nunchucks probably go last, right?
Right.
Because they also, I think, provide the most harm towards yourself. And
Well,
then,
I think a sword might provide the most harm, but I think you're more aware that you could stab yourself. Nunchucks
yeah,
take a ton of focus.
size would be second to last because that's kind of intricate. Although it's kind of you're more just punching, but the blocking techniques with
Well, the
size would be
sides are more
interesting.
defensive, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I feel like stick would be the easiest because uh you would be afraid to practice with it.
I was saying, because who among us has not grabbed during Christmas time an empty roll of wrapping paper and just started
Yeah.
twirling?
So I suppose katanas are second because I don't know you're it's more of a range weapon, less I think it's still less arm to yourself than the nunchucks or the size. So I would go from easiest to hardest to master. Big wooden stick, katana, size, nunchucks.
Call it a bow staff. Pay it a little bit of respect. I
How
would say
thick does it have to be to get to bow staff and get beyond stick?
what is it, like an inch and a half?
We
2
gotta look
inches
up.
thick?
We gotta look those up. Look that
We
up.
do.
2-inch
So I
stick is
think
that's a thick stick. It's a
I
girthy
think
stick.
it's bow staff, then I would say size because it is more of a close range weapon, but they're also not like sharp outside of the pointy ends. So like if you accidentally hit your wrist with it, unless you're jamming it in there, you're not going to bleed out.
Yeah, so I guess you could flip flop katanas in size. I'd say that's
Yeah,
fair.
I would say katana's 3 and then nunchucks 4.
Nunchucks for sure hardest to master.
All right, so headed over to social media right now at Mac and Goo Podcast on X, the other ones, and tell us your ranking of which one you could master the quickest of the Ninja Turtle weapons. Mac, let's move on. We discussed this for a smidge during, I don't know, one of our podcasts. And the topic of frozen candies was brought
Mm,
up. The best
mm.
frozen candies, the 4 best frozen candies. I think we are in agreement on 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Peanut M&Ms
Hmm.
and Charleston Chew.
Yeah, those are like, and I think those are probably the two most famous ones outside of like a York
But
peppermint
also,
patty.
the one thing that I think sets Charleston Chew apart is that peanut M&Ms, my thought is not always to put it in the freezer. Like, I'll eat them
Oh,
regular
they are
too.
for me. Yeah,
Charleston Chew, I immediately, once getting, I just put it right in the freezer.
they're both instant freezer for me.
Okay,
So
all right.
but we agree on those two are definitely in the 4. And then you kind of have to get like, I know Charleston Chew is a chocolate bar, but not really. You got to get like one of the more famous chocolate bars in there. So we're talking Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers. I think it actually might help the Three Musketeers most because that's the worst.
Three
of
Musketeers on its own is delicious.
it's
Don't
too
you
fluffy.
dare.
Harden it up a little
Three
bit.
Musketeers is the bow
but
staff of candies.
that's why a Snickers ice cream bar is so good because a frozen Snickers is also very good. So I'll give you frozen
The
Snickers in there
Snickers
as well.
ice cream. If we're looking at the candy flavored ice cream, they used to, maybe they still do. They would have ice cream that is shaped / made like the candies.
Yeah,
Was Snickers the best of those?
easily.
Okay, yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll throw that in there. And, like I said, a lot of people love York peppermint patties. I'm not a peppermint flavored candy. I don't want to do that.
Neither am I, but I think frozen, because it already cools you off. If you put it in the freezer first, you're going back to the fucking ice age.
Yeah, I'm out on that. That's not for me. It may make it better, but it doesn't make it good. So like Milky Way you could throw in there. This is sort of cheating, but I think it counts. This is my plea for you and everyone out there to try freeze-dried candy, specifically freeze-dried Skittles, elite candy, top tier
Okay.
candy.
All right, so what's your Mount Rushmore?
I'll go Charleston Chew, peanut M&M, Snickers, and freeze-dried Skittles.
Or you could just do regular frozen Skittles if you don't have the
Not the same.
technology.
Well, yeah, you can purchase them though.
Next one up here, Mac. We also brought this up on a podcast recently of breads. You were discussing banana bread, and I said I prefer cornbread.
Banana, ooh, na.
Banana. Too many A's and too many N's, I think. Mac, I would say that my Mount Rushmore of bread, if I am looking to, I don't know, start a bread franchise, I suppose.
Sure.
I think sourdough is the GOAT. I fucking love sourdough.
I like sourdough. I think it's become like the most popular bread and maybe the easiest for folks to make at home in their Dutch ovens. I don't think it makes my top 4.
Okay, so I also love pumpernickel. I was between pumpernickel and rye. Pumpernickel is a licorice type of food where you either love it or you hate it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm indifferent on pumpernickel. I'll take it if it's there. I'm not seeking it out.
Cornbread. I'm a cornbread boy.
Yeah, this is the genesis of the discussion. I said banana greater than cornbread. You scoffed at that.
And
Go ahead.
And then finally, Mac, garlic naan.
Yeah, I like a naan. This might be our one carry over here. So you have sourdough naan, pumpernickel cornbread. I go banana bread. Like that to me is the most delicious bread for sure. Focaccia is like my favorite for sandwiches, and it's just delicious anyways. So those two are in there. And then I have trouble figuring out if this even counts. King's Hawaiian rolls, do those count?
That's almost like a dessert. I think that's more of a dessert than banana bread.
Like that, if those count, I'm putting King's Hawaiian rolls in my 4.
Okay.
And then I'm down, like, I like a good buttery brioche, but I think I might prefer naan over that. So I might go naan as my 4th. So focaccia, banana, naan, and King's Hawaiian.
Maybe I'm tardy to the party here, but how has no pizza place discovered or figured out a way to have a pizza that is garlic naan with chicken tikka masala on top?
It's a great question.
It's a simple pizza. Just
ask around.
I will ask around.
Put it on Reddit.
A place near me actually does have a chicken tikka pizza, but they don't use the masala sauce. They just use regular tomato sauce. What are you doing?
Oh, that's like some places using tomato sauce on a buffalo chicken pie. That's the worst.
That's a no-no. So Goose, once again, no-no. Sourdough, naan, pumpernickel, and cornbread. Max.
Yeah. Focaccia, banana bread, King's Hawaiian rolls, and I'll also go naan in there.
So head over to social media right now and let us know your breads. Mac, next one up here is, and we were debating doing tiers on this, but then I realized, and maybe you still could, I don't drink a lot of soda, so I don't think I don't enough about the situation.
I don't drink any soda. Like I probably have 2 sodas a month just when I'm like, you know what, I haven't had a soda in a while, I'll do a soda. And every time I go for one, it's either a Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew. Those are the 2 clear ones in the Mount Rushmore for me.
I feel like I went a full year of having a diet soda every day, and I have cut it back to 2 diet sodas a week.
People are like very addicted to soda. Like
yes.
Really addicted to soda.
It's because it's so fucking good.
Some of them.
So good.
Some of them.
Okay, so I would say for my Mount Rushmore, and I'm usually going to have the diet option on these, but orange, Dr. Pepper.
What brand of orange?
I am...
It's a big question.
What did I have? I feel like I would go back and forth. I think I'm a slice boy, though.
Yeah, as long as you don't go Sunkissed. I feel like Sunkissed tastes the worst of the bunch.
I do have Sunkissed, though. I do go back
Fanta and Slice, I think, are the 2 superior ones. I'd probably lean Fanta. But some of them are more sugary than the other ones, anyway, of course, you know.
Root beer?
Okay. What root beer?
Mug.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then grape.
Yeah, I'm echoing some of that. So I I enjoy those sodas, but the only 2 I truly drink are Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper. I do feel like I'm a sucker for a crisp Sprite every once in a while. I know it's a conservative soda, but I love a crisp Sprite.
Is Sprite the only refreshing soda? Like it quenches your thirst?
It's close. It's fucking close. So I think I gotta put Sprite on my Rushmore with Dew and Dr. Pepper, and then it only leaves one for one room for the last one here. And root beer I do enjoy. Grape soda I enjoy. I think I got to go on orange soda too because it's what I drank mostly as a kid. And the orange soda version of Mountain Dew, Livewire, is delicious as well. So
I was close on a vanilla Coke. I still like vanilla Coke. When I was a kid, Code Red all day. But
yeah, are you I like a cherry Coke too, so that's in consideration. Do you like a cream soda?
No.
Yeah, I don't care for it either.
No, I'm not a cream soda boy.
Hmm.
So Mount Rushmore, orange, Dr. Pepper, grape, and root beer.
Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, orange soda, Fanta. Fanta,
Mac,
Fanta.
this past week, Boston Fan Expo announced that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor will both be in attendance for the event this year. Can you give me 4 duos that you would pay to meet together, but if they were separate, you would not have the time of day for?
This is a hard question to think about because there's a lot of duos I would like to meet, and it also, as soon as I was looking this up, I immediately got into fictional duos. So I was like, you know what, I don't really have an answer for this. I think your answer's fine, but I also would like to meet these two separately. So I don't even really agree with the premise.
Well,
of
that's the
your
whole thing.
question.
So, like, I went through like the longest list because we actually did a duo draft a while ago. That was episode 400, something like that, something stupid for us. And I went through my list, and most of the list, like say Keenan and Kel, I was like, I wouldn't mind meeting both Keenan, like Kel separately. I could talk like that wouldn't be bad.
I mean, I don't want to meet Kel. I would meet Keenan, but like Keenan and Kel for sure. You would want to go meet, you know?
Like Drake and Josh.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. They are friendly again, you know?
Like I think I wouldn't pay to meet Josh Peck. I'm not even sure if I would pay to meet both of them together. That's the thing too.
If Drake promises to play the Drake and Josh theme song, I'm 1,000%
I
there.
never thought it would be so simple, but
I found a way. I found a way.
So the only one that I have, and I have seen one of these persons at an expo in the past, and I had no time for because he was by himself. And that is Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson. They are the clerks from Clerks. So if they were together and they were doing pictures together, I'd be in for that. I'd be like, okay, if I can meet both clerks right now, I would do it. I would maybe for just Jeff Anderson, but I don't think so. Like, I'm really teetering.
Oh, you would go Jeff Anderson over Brian O'Halloran.
Yeah, Randall over Dante. Completely.
I would go the other way, I think.
Is that because you just want to yell in his ear? I'm not even supposed to be here today. Like, do it and like kind of misquote it.
I'm sure we have a couple listeners out there. They're going to have a couple good duos, but off the top of my dome, I couldn't come up with anything good there.
Like, even when we met the Boy Meets World casts, you met Topanga on her own. Mm-hmm. I feel like if it was just Will Friedle, I would meet him on his own.
Maybe so. I obviously R.I.P. The Green Ranger, but like if all the Power Rangers together, I would meet them as well. But solely, I only sought out the Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, but you went and you saw one of them by themselves, so it's not the question.
Yeah, no, I know.
I guess if it was Corey and Sean, like say if that was I would not see Ben Savage or Ryder Strong by themselves.
True.
But if they were at an event and we hadn't already taken a photo with the cast, that's something that I would think about.
That's a good one.
Okay, let's move on. Guys, give us any examples because we did a terrible job on the question that I made. Mac, the biggest movie in the country right now is the new Avengers, and Florence Pugh is the star of said movie as Yelena Belova, and she was asked by IMAX, the theater company?
Yeah, it's gone sentient.
Which 4 Avengers she would want to be on her Avengers team. And she said Black Widow, Spider-Man, Bucky Barnes, and the Hulk. Now, I do feel like that's a bit redundant, having 2 Black Widows, not building a good team, if you ask me.
Oh, so she's not included on the team, or she is included?
She is included.
All right.
Who she wants on her Avengers team.
Gotcha. So that's fine. Like, to me, what she's missing clearly is like a magical element, a mystical element, which you surely need. You got 2 beat 'em up types. At least Bucky's a super soldier. Spider-Man could be kind of your pseudo tech guy, so that works, and he's cool in and of himself.
Yeah.
Hulk's sort of your space god, extraterrestrial type, fills that role, so I'm okay with that. She's missing the mystical element.
Right, Max. So let me ask you, who would you, and you're in this group, so you're alongside these fellas.
Okay. All right. What's my superhero
name?
Who do you
want
White Chocolate?
On your Avengers team?
Okay. So White Chocolate's going to have, I think, my favorite space god, and it's the one that they're named after, basically. They call them space gods because of this character, Thor. Thor's fun, especially the iteration we've gotten in the last couple, despite what people say about Love and Thunder. I also think Spider-Man's an easy one to have in there because He's tech savvy. He can be your tech guy, and he's got powers. You could maybe go a Black Panther in that same regard,
Yeah.
that fills that same role. But I would go both of them over Iron Man, who doesn't have any powers but is just tech savvy. And then mystically, I go Doctor Strange because I think he's more reliable than the Scarlet Witch. I'm not as afraid of him flipping on us as I would be Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, but
And
wouldn't
then
you be afraid of him making fun of you and hurting your feelings?
that's okay. I can deal with that. I can deal with that sort of
I
stuff.
can't.
And then this one, I don't know if it counts or not because he's predominantly a member of a separate team, but I don't know. He is an MCU character, and you give me the option. Can I have Wolverine as
Yeah,
like
you can
my
have Wolverine.
beat
He's
him
in
up
there now.
sort of thing?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, I'll take Wolverine then.
You want to ask me?
Goo.
Yeah.
What are who are the Mount Rushmore of Marvel characters that you would want on your Avengers team?
Okay, so much like you, I would also want Thor. For my mystical being, I would take Scarlet Witch. I think that she is more powerful, a little more unhinged.
She's
That might
definitely more
help you.
powerful. Yeah.
She's willing to dabble in the dark arts if she has to.
Well, I think Strange is too.
For my tech guy, I want Rocket Raccoon.
Okay, but he's definitely gonna make fun of you and maybe steal
I
stuff
know,
from
and
you.
I feel like I'm gonna cry a
You're
lot.
gonna be missing your keys all the time.
I know. And then I would say that I would like Spider-Man as a real wild card who can kind of help all of these characters out. And
Yeah.
you might be saying, Goo, you're missing a leader. No, I'm not. I'm right here. I'm the
What's
captain
your-
of this ship.
Okay, Captain Goo.
Head over to social media right now and tell us who you would want on your Avengers team. But also let us know what part of the team you think that you would fill in with.
I think I could do a good enough job being like, hey, go do this, go do this, go do
Well, like
this.
I was debating leaving Thor off and I'd just be the muscle. It's been announced that a new Echo the Dolphin is in the works. What is the worst video game that you have spent the most amount of time playing?
So I fudged around with this one a little bit. I sort of took these to be the most disappointed I've been in video games. So
Which is
some I did.
absolutely fine. Yes, absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
So some I didn't play all that while, but I was anticipating, spent hard-earned American dollars on them. The one that came to mind instantly, and I don't know who else played this game, came out in 2005, right after the trilogy. So peak of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. It was a turn-based role-playing video game. When I bought it, when I was 15 years old, I didn't know it was turn-based. I thought it was like open world, beat 'em up sort of thing, like
Yeah.
the games made after the movies were. One of the worst games I've ever fucking
Well,
played.
no, but that's how you fight, though. My turn, your turn.
I spent, and you could co-op on it too, and it still wasn't fun. I was very excited when I first saw the trailer for Red Dead Revolver. I played it for like 4 hours, and I was like, I don't really like this game. It went on to be, pretty popular, and then turned into Red Dead Redemption, which is uber popular. But I thought Red Dead Revolver kind of sucked. And then Goo, my least favorite sports game of all time, with apologies to the 2K football games, is NHL 2K6. The 2K hockey games, just say the 2K hockey games in general, I guess, were fucking garbage. Like barely playable.
No.
Absolutely horrible.
When they were on the Dreamcast, they were great.
Okay. Well, NHL 2K6 with Marty Turco on the cover was fucking horrible. Worst hockey game I've ever played. Fourth set here, sort of echoing the same sentiment here, even though it's very popular these days. Every FIFA game ever. The fact that you can automatically pop kick for a goal on a breakaway every time is the worst thing ever. It happens like twice a year in real soccer. You can do it in the video game every single time. I hate that aspect of FIFA. Fuck FIFA.
For $100, I will hand it over to you right now. Can you tell me the athlete that was on NHL 2K2?
2K2.
That was the last one that came out for Sega Dreamcast. It actually came out after the Dreamcast was discontinued.
Man, I don't think it's Devils are really good. Red Wings are really good. Post Avalanche, I'm gonna guess Fedorov.
The answer is Chris Drury.
Chris Drury, not bad. Okay, yeah.
Chris
Yep.
Drury. Mac, that is a game actually that I would go to. What was it? It was EB Games, right? Electronics Boutique.
Yeah.
I would go to the mall every day and I would say, is NHL 2K2 in yet? Every day the answer was no. I didn't get it until like February.
Yeah, back then you didn't know necessarily the release dates of shit.
No. So, Mac, the games that I spent the most amount of time playing, I'm happy that you asked me to, was games that were bought for me by my parents that I assumed that were good and I should just keep on playing as a kid.
Okay.
So most of these are Super Nintendo games.
Yep.
Batman Forever is absolute trash. The fight dynamics, the bad guys aren't even close to you when you're hitting them, having to go up and down the screen. It is such a bad game.
Okay. Never played it, I don't think.
The Wizard of Oz on Super Nintendo. I spent so much time on this game, and it is terrible.
Was it a team-up side-scroller?
It was a side-scroller beat-em-up. You start as Dorothy.
Wow.
The next level, you're the Scarecrow, then the Tin Man, then the Cowardly Lion. But what you want to do, so when you're Dorothy, is you want to collect lemons, I think, and then you throw lemons with your wand.
Okay, gotcha.
A game that I received for my birthday one year, and it's a Mario game. I thought, I'm like, this is going to be like playing Super Mario World. No. Mario is missing on the Super Nintendo, where you are Luigi.
I don't think I've ever heard of this game.
Going all over the world to try and find your brother.
So you're just playing Carmen Sandiego, but with
It's
the Mario
Carmen
Brothers?
Sandiego, yes.
Okay, all right.
And then finally, just because I love the Donkey Kong Country games on the SNES, Donkey Kong 64 tries to be too much like Mario 64, and I don't care for how they ported it.
Yeah, it's not great. I'll give you that.
Two other games, by the way. One that I did not spend a ton of time on because it was not my game. It was my cousin's, but I did borrow it for like a weekend. It stunk. Shaq Fu.
I never played it.
And then a game that I asked for so many times for Christmas, but my mother read the reviews and then was like, let's wait until you can rent it first and see if it's any good, was Superman 64. Game was horrible.
That's the one, that's like the prevailing one on the internet that people really hate. I don't remember that game at all. Now, granted, I didn't have an N64. Friends did, but I don't remember Superman N64 at all.
Mac, let's move on right now. First off, everyone go to social media and tell us whatever the last category was. Mac, May the 4th just happened.
Sure
May
did.
the 4th be with you, Mac.
And also with you.
And Star Wars, among the many things that it's known for, has amazing movie posters, specifically the first one, for the first trilogy, really. And then they do build on it pretty well with the
first one.
prequels.
I believe it's Han is like shooting up to the sky, right? And that's
no, I think Han's in the corner like this.
Oh, and it's Luke with the lightsaber. Okay.
Yeah.
Iconic poster.
So, Mac, I have a list of movies here that I think would be in like a top 10 of movie posters, but we need to get it down to a Mount Rushmore. That's 4, by the way. For those of you who are just tuning in right now, we're doing Mount Rushmores. Get on the same page with us.
Yeah.
The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Good one.
It's a fucking great one. Halloween. I think this might be one of my favorites because also, if you look at the hand that is holding the knife, it looks like a bag that is stretched over someone's face.
Typically, the simpler, the better, the more like this, that like, I wish more movie posters were like that one.
Speaking of simple, The Exorcist.
Ah, so good. Really good one.
It's just a light shining down on the priest that is about to go in the home.
Yep. Great one.
The first Star Wars movie, the one that we have talked about here.
Yeah. I think that's got to be that and Scarface have got to be the two most owned movie posters of all time.
Well, that and then John Belushi, College. One that I really like, but I would not put in the Mount Rushmore, is the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, where it is Anakin standing next to that hut and the shadow is Darth Vader.
I would instantly put it in the top 4.
You want to put it in there?
I think it's genius. I think it's a perfect little piece of marketing.
The Mount Rushmore of movie posters. You want to put 2 Star Wars in there.
Well, I sort of thought we were doing this without the first Star Wars, but yeah, I think it's conceivable for sure.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction was a great one. Yep.
Back to the Future.
No gripes there.
Marty looking at his watch. You get the flames in the background. The DeLorean's right there. Lot going on. Also, it's not just like a photo of Marty. It's like this kind of like pseudo paint looking, or like Crapel. Crapel? Is that what it is?
No, those I know what you're trying to say, and I also can't think of the word.
I'm going to say crapel.
Pastel.
Pastel. Well, no, it's not pastel, is it?
I don't know.
What you would do in elementary school is that they would hand you what you thought were crayons, and you would start drawing, and then they
Yeah,
would
what
say,
the fuck is that called?
They would say, take your thumb and smudge it. Art.
Not crapel, that's for sure.
Craypaws.
Craypaw. Yeah, there you go.
Craypaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Craypaws.
There you go.
Does anyone out there still use craypaws? I feel like I helped my brother move out of an apartment one time, and his entire room, like the walls, the doorknobs, everything, was covered in some kind of a black soot. I'm curious if he was using craypaws on the daily for his art.
Yeah, was he just lighting fires, or was he super into craypaw?
That was a gift, Todd, and I'm keeping it. My brother is Todd from Wedding Crashers, by the
Some
way.
Todd
Guys.
vibes there, for sure.
Yeah, no, he definitely is Todd vibes. We went to a wedding one time, and he just sat on a ledge by the ocean for hours. The ocean is my bitch lover. You tell that mean ocean, Todd. Back to whatever the topic is. Jurassic Park. So this one is an amazing, simple concept, but is it knocked because it is just the logo on a poster?
Yeah, cool logo, but poster,
That's what I was
not
thinking.
great.
Great logo, but
yeah.
Okay, different category, different day. Next Mount Rushmore, best movie logos. Cross that one off. Jaws.
Yeah, I think that's another one that like instantly, other than Star Wars, like perfectly gets there because you have the person floating, you have the
Little
shark
lady,
coming
giant
straight
shark.
up.
Yep.
It's perfect.
You know what the movie's all about from the poster.
Yeah.
One that slipped on here late that I think is the perfect representation of the movie, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers is an awesome one, and easily of the last like 20, 25 years.
Most recently, I think the best.
The most mimicked one for sure. So that's in consideration. And then one that you had on here that instantly came to mind for me too is The Silence of the Lambs, which it might just be the book's cover. I'm not sure.
The moth.
The moth. It's like it's so confusing as to what it's going to be about that it like makes it intriguing. So that like to me, I started with the first Star Wars, A New Hope, 77.
So episode 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaws and The Silence of the Lambs. And then I probably would put Phantom Menace on there, but if you limit me to one Star Wars, I may go Step Brothers.
Okay, so first off, Step Brothers, we just talked about like recent movie posters. The issue with recent movie posters is they all look the same and they all look superimposed and
they're all really paying homage to the original really good ones.
But no, they're all also just paying homage to who's in the cast. And it's like, let's just put a big circle of
yeah, a lot of circle themes.
It's a lot of circle posters. Also, I want to put on here, just as like an honorable mention, I love the movie poster for Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
the first Beetlejuice.
That's a good one.
If I'm taking 4, I would put Back to the Future, Star Wars. This is tough. I will say Jaws, and then Sofa's choice. I'm going to take Halloween over The Exorcist.
Okay. I would go Exorcist over Halloween. I'd probably have Exorcist just below Silence of the Lambs, but I like Lambs more than those two.
All right, so head over to social media right now. Tell us your movie posters. Mac! It's very popular nowadays for movies to be accompanied by merch when they are released in the theaters. We have popcorn buckets, cups, silly hats. And I will ask you, because we just got Revenge of the Sith that came out with a new popcorn bucket for that. So with Jaws coming out soon, and we've seen its popcorn bucket for its 50th anniversary release, what other classic movies would you want to see a popcorn bucket for?
I didn't have anything that came to mind, but this is where you and I differ. You have the more creative mind where you could think of a movie where like, oh, that would be great, or something from the movie would be great as a popcorn bucket.
The obvious one is you get a box, you open the box, it is a severed head filled with popcorn. 7.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Popcorn. And
it's a good one.
And a severed head.
Yeah. Maybe the severed head is like looking up with his mouth open, and that's
eat
the
around.
receptacle.
Eat around the severed head. Obviously.
No. The head is the receptacle. The mouth is the receptacle.
So you're eating the popcorn out of the head?
Correct.
Okay. Out of Gwyneth Paltrow's head?
Yeah. Or you flip it upside down, you're eating it out of her neck.
Or you can eat it out of her skull. Nice. in honor of us, I would do anything, and I don't even care what it is. A Mac and Me popcorn bucket.
Do you want Mac or do you want the kid in the wheelchair? Kid in the
I
wheelchair
don't
would be
care
good.
what it is. It could
I
be the
actually
kid in the wheelchair holding a bucket that you just put popcorn in there. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I just watched the other day, the Conan special on Netflix where he's
Yeah.
receiving the Mark Twain Comedy Award or whatever.
Yeah.
And Rudd worked his way in there and worked that clip in there. It was good. Very good.
So I will take anything Mac and Me.
Okay.
I love TMNT. I would love a TMNT 1990s. You could figure out a way to just put, I don't know, weapons around it or some shit, or a turtle shell.
Perfect,
You
actually.
could do one of those old toys where it comes as a baby turtle, but you can open it up and flip shit around and transform it into a daddy turtle. You have put popcorn in there.
And then the leftover ones you had in the early 90s, you could use them for the Master of Disguise.
Add that on here. Put the Master of Disguise on here. I am turtly enough for this turtle party. Turtle. Home Alone. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can go with this. We've already gone with the severed head for 7, but
Paint
I
can.
also wouldn't mind eating, in Home Alone when Joe Pesci gets his head lit on fire?
Sure.
You get that Joe Pesci head lit on fire with his mouth agape, and you eat popcorn out of Joe Pesci.
I would say paint can. Paint can on a string.
Paint can on a string?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could use any of the pranks, or you could make a popcorn bucket that is a prank. So you're constantly hurting.
Like a little fake snake pops out when you open it.
Like a snake pops out, or you dip your hand in to get the popcorn mousetrap. Suddenly, you're eating popcorn and oil falls out of the bottom of the bucket onto your pants.
Hot burning oil
on your pants. You're eating popcorn, glue shoots on your face. Someone throws feathers on your face.
So you just want a Home Alone sequel.
But it's centered around a popcorn bucket.
Right.
And then one that some people might point to, there was a scene in Troll 2 where 2 people are making out and chewing on corn on the cob, and then popcorn starts falling down.
Sure.
I don't know, figure something out.
Why not?
So head over to social media and tell us the popcorn bucket that you want. That you would pay good money for. Do you want to be tricked? You want to be treated? I don't know. Mac, the Utah Hockey Club has recently announced their team name, the Mammoth.
Solid. I don't mind.
Their jerseys, give them a B-. I think it's a little too collegey, if you ask me.
I mean, their color of blue is nice, so that's what really holds everything together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rock black, mountain blue, and a salt white is what we're looking at here for their color scheme. But I would ask you, and so you need to spend money on this. What are 4 jerseys, uniforms from fictional television shows, movies that you would spend money on?
Okay, so 2 of them you had here, and those are Mighty Ducks. I think there's a number of them you could go, and I also think it's important to note that the Mighty Ducks ended up using the Mighty Ducks logo.
So I love the Mighty Ducks, but if I'm buying a Mighty Ducks jersey, I am buying a real life player. Either I already have a Teemu Solani, I'd get a Paul Correa, I'd get a Jean-Sebastian Jaguar.
You're not going to get a green Adam Banks jersey?
What I'm saying, though, is that if I'm going movie style, I'm going just Ducks from the original movie, not the Mighty Ducks.
So the green one.
Yes, the green one. Okay. And yes, I'd go Banks. I would go Russ Tyler. I'd go Bash Brothers.
Yeah, I agree with the premise there. I'm in on that. I love the Space Jam Toon Squad jerseys. Yeah. Taz would be my favorite.
I would take easy one.
I would take a Jordan one though. Like that's pretty sick too. Like I'm all in on that.
So I'm all in on the Toon Squad. I would like a Taz one as well because you also need to tear it up a little bit. You had to put one of the shoulders under your armpit.
Maybe
so
pop a nipple out.
What's going on? I'm surprised you didn't pick the Lola Bunny so that you could crop top it, show off your midriff.
That's a good point. I didn't think about jerseys I'd want to fuck. That's a separpe list.
I'm actually, credit to you. You didn't sexualize any of these questions.
No. I'm I'm a new man, Gil.
When I wrote all of these out, I'm like, he's gonna ruin this question. He's gonna ruin this question. He's gonna ruin this question.
The one here, and you haven't watched the show, so I don't blame you for not having it. A Tim Riggins Dylan Panthers jersey would go fucking hard. I have seen them out in public. These are the blue and yellows Dylan Panthers from Friday Night Lights. They're awesome. They're not fictional because it's based on a real school. Friday Night Lights, the movie, the Birmingham Panthers, those black and white getups are great, but that's a real thing. And then Gil, I love the All Blacks of the Miami Sharks from Any Given Sunday.
That's not bad too.
So I'd maybe get what was Jamie Foxx's character's name?
I think his name is Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, that's what it is. I would have his.
So I'm not the biggest fan of baseball jerseys, but I would look at basketball with the beers and not Squeak specifically.
Swear to God, if you guys shit on me 13 or 14 more times, I am so out of here.
I agree on the Toon Squads, on the Ducks. The Flint Tropics, I really enjoy their color scheme. It's almost like a Miami Dolphins type color scheme, but it's also a basketball jersey. I am a hockey sweater, basketball jersey kind of guy.
Agree.
So if I'm going to do that, I really like the color scheme there. I would go coffee black as, say, my favorite of that. But, Jackie's pretty good too.
Yeah, Jackie Moons you've seen those out in public before.
And then, like I said, I'm not going to lean heavily on a football jersey, but the SCISU Mud Dogs.
SCLSU.
What did I say?
Aye,
matey. They're a bit too Brownsy for me. They're too much like the Cleveland Browns, so that does turn me off a bit. Yep. I would either go with Bobby or the quarterback. Why would I choose the quarterback? I could walk around and call everyone Needle Dick.
I forgot about that aspect of having that jersey. It gives
you're allowed to do it.
Yeah. No, when people, you just show them, no, this jersey jersey empowers me.
Or I would do a joke one that just said Montaigne on the back. I said, Joe Montaigne, you crazy asshole. People also love the Chiefs from Slapshot, so that's up there too. Would you prefer a From Like Mike's Knights jersey, or
those aren't bad,
or a Banshees from Juwanna Man?
I would go Like Mike over Juwanna Man there.
That's a bold choice by you. I enjoy the color scheme on the Sandler longest yard jerseys.
I like the guards jerseys in that movie more than I like the inmates jerseys.
Check and mate. Well done. And then when you look at any list of fictional jerseys, they always say the New York Knights from The Natural. Those things stink.
They're okay. They're okay.
No, thank you. So head over to social media. Tell us the fictional jersey that you would purchase. Mac, we have one more here, and this is off the back of our last episode. And we spoke a ton about the Dewey Decimal System, the Magic School Bus. And I'm going to ask you, if I were to go back in time, it is 1996-97, and I hand a young Jeff Santos $20 before a Scholastic book fair.
Yeah.
What are you bringing home?
Predominantly Animorphs books. It'll be a lot of Animorphs books. I might have like a Captain Underpants in there as well. But I was a huge Animorphs guy. And then I'd probably get like some sort of sports book too, like some sort of like something like that. But it would be mostly Animorphs books because I was very into those for like 3 years.
You gonna ask me?
Gil. We spoke at length about the Dewey Decimal System, the Magic School Bus on Goose Day. If I gave a young Brian Antonelli $20 for a Scholastic book fair, what's he coming home with?
Number one, you have more trust with me than my mother did, because I would come home with a book on how to do magic. I would come home with a book on how to draw Pokemon. Yeah. I would come home
Pokemon's a good one. Yep.
A Sports Illustrated book, like a big listicle, if you would.
Sure.
Or just any book that might have a toy in it.
Yeah. No, I get that. The magic
Usually
one.
My mother would have to take me to the book fair to make sure that I spent my money responsibly.
Supervise you.
Yeah. Put that fucking magic book down. You already have 3. And here's the thing. I don't know any magic. I had so many books on how to do magic. The only trick that I knew, it was a bad one because you had to have a carrot. You had to have a baby carrot with you. What you would do is you would have a handkerchief.
Here's a handkerchief. I carry a baby carrot with me at all times.
Right. So you have a baby carrot. You'd have a handkerchief. And you would say, here's my hand. You would then put the handkerchief over your hand, but sneak the baby carrot on there so that it would look like the baby carrot was your thumb.
Sure.
And then you would say, look at these needles that I also have. And you would
Look at
start
all these
jamming the needles into your thumb. And everyone's like, this guy's fucking insane. Turns out I would go, all right, let me take them out. Take it off. My thumb is fine.
How skinny was your thumb that a baby carrot passed for it?
Everyone called me baby carrot thumb for years of my life.
Check out little carrot thumb over here.
I actually, this is very much like The Office. I went out to dinner once with one of my grandmothers, and the only time in my life, brag, I ordered baby carrots. For the rest of her life, you know what she called me?
What'd she call you?
Baby carrots.
Really creative. As most grandmothers are. Really
My
creative.
father, his side of the family, called me baby carrots for the rest of her. They still do. They still do. I ordered it once in my life.
Here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's big tuna. I bet you sick of tuna.
Let's get into Maxac.
And Maxac could be anything. It could be a boat. And if you want Maxac, listen to the entire episode. That's all it was. It was one big Maxac. Mac, where can the people find us?
You can find us on X and Instagram at Mac and Goo Podcast. Every other platform, we are Mac & Goo. That's Mac Shift 7 Goo. That includes Facebook, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Spreaker, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. More importantly, we're on Apple Podcasts. Get on there, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars. If you do that, we'll get you a free Mac and Goo t-shirt from the folks over at Watertown Sportswear. That's Watertown Sportswear on 34 Mount Auburn Street in Watertown. WatertownSportswear.com, expert screen printing and embroidery.
tpublic.com, merch. Also, we're on YouTube. Thumbs up. Give us thumbs up. Comment on the episode. Oh, I should have said that the whole time. Tell us all of your Mount Rushmores in the comments. That's how you gain traction. It's all about interaction with the people out there.
That's what it is.
Comment. Do it up. Go to our other social medias. Do it there too. We'll do a news dump on Monday. Goose Day. Sorry about that. And then at the end of the week, Mac, finally.
We really do bring you friendship.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be hopefully the movie of the year.
It's going to be nuts.
It's new Marvel. It's supposed to be nuts.
Did you see the extended of that clip?
I did. Yeah.
The wife's like, oh, I'm actually going to get a beer with one of my ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, I love her. I love Kate Mara is one of my favorites, by the way.
And then the son's like, oh, it's actually not that good. It's like, oh, don't spoil it.
Kate Mara and Shooter is nearly as hot as anyone can be. Not many folks are hotter than Kate Mara.
Is that Shooter starring Elias Koteas?
It's Shooter starring Elias Koteas, yes.
That's a good one. I like that one. Tuesdays are Goose Days. I abuse kangaroos. Tim Burton.
Bye.
Please flip the cassette over to side B to continue the adventure.
Now it's time for girls jumping on trampolines.